Good morning. Today is the start of the third week of Advent. We just lit the third candle, and as Pastor mentioned, the theme for the third week of Advent is joy. So if you truly participate in Advent, the idea is that for today and through the week, we will focus on joy. That it'll be something that we think about, meditate on, and try to walk in. But it's not just the joy of the season. Well, I mean, really it is. If you realize that the joy of the season is the joy of Jesus. But it's not just the joy of the season, and it's not just the joy of anticipating presents or molasses cookies or pumpkin pie, or whatever it is. It's not even the joy of Army beating Navy in the first overtime game between the two of them in 123 years yesterday. Although that was a lot of fun. There's a different kind of joy. Now, since we have been focusing on the grace of Advent throughout this season, it's kind of important to me that I look at Advent this year, and so I'm sharing it that way with you guys, in a way that how does this allow me to walk in grace today? To have these things today and tomorrow. And, we're 2 weeks away from Christmas, and the pressure's getting there, and the hecticness, and I'm starting to realize, who I'm not going to get to see, or who I'm going to have to see, or, however you look at it. But there's other aspects. Now, I have a joy that some of you may be able to relate to, and it's all because we happen to live in this day and age. My daughter by marriage, her husband, and my granddaughter all live in Little Rock, Arkansas, which, being able to drive 70 miles on the highway is, 4.5 hours or so away. 100 years ago, would have taken a lot longer to get there. There's some distance between us that we don't think about as much because, in a way, the world has gotten smaller. It's gotten so smaller that my daughter by marriage can grab her phone while she's cooking dinner, and she can put it up and hit a button, and we can FaceTime with little Ainsley and kind of watch her play and talk to her and talk to Amanda while she cooks dinner from a long way away, from several hours away, and that's awesome. We were doing this very recently, day before yesterday, and little Miss Ainsley was not happy. She was not filled with joy because her gums hurt, because she still has a little bit left on the teething thing to finish. She's about 1.5 years old. She'll be 2 years old in April, and they haven't all come in, but she's got a bunch of choppers now. But they were bothering her. She had a discomfort. She had something that was not right. And so she complained. We can't blame her for that, because we all do that. And so she tried to fix it. She wants to stop feeling that way and start feeling relief. She wants to feel better. That's born in us, that when something isn't right, we want to make it right. Because we are innately designed to point towards feeling right. We just don't know how to do it because we're broken, or because we haven't learned it yet. Whatever. So Amanda is trying to take care of her daughter, and Ainsley's not having any of it. Finally, she reaches over and she grabs a bag of frozen peas and carrots. And Amanda's going, "That's not what you want." And Ainsley is positive that's what she wants. That's not what you want. That's what I want. Ainsley gets in that bag and she starts chewing on frozen peas and carrots right out of the bag. And her face lit up. This is what I wanted. Because the cool made her gums feel better for a few seconds. And then the cool kind of went away a little bit, and I don't know exactly what. She likes peas and she likes carrots, but maybe she prefers them, prepared properly. I don't know. But once that immediate relief of what she had put in her mouth kind of faded, she's spitting out the peas and carrots. But then immediately, within a few seconds, Amanda's trying to, okay, we're going to give you something else. And Ainsley's not hearing it. More, she says, with sign language, because that's her thing. That's how she's like her opa. Her favorite word is more. Be careful with that. It'll get you in trouble. More. She's going back and back and back for peas and carrots to put in her mouth. And, little smile. And then, oh, no. Spit them out. Amanda's trying to take them away from her. No, okay, all right. Have your way. And then after a minute, it's finally like, are you ready to listen to me? I've got a popsicle for you. Do you want a popsicle? And suddenly, oh, wait a minute, there's something better. Yeah. So Amanda takes the peas and carrots, which, there's nothing wrong with peas and carrots. They're very nutritional. It's very good. There's nothing wrong with them. They just weren't what she needed. Amanda takes those away, gives her a popsicle, and oh, the face. This time it didn't go away in 2 or 3 seconds, and she just kept on sucking on that. It tasted great. She loved it, and her teeth started feeling better. Her gums started feeling better. She had joy. Her face lit up. Kids don't play. If they're smiling, they're happy. If they're frowning, they're sad. We don't start playing those games with masks until later. She was filled with joy. We're like little toddlers. We know something's not right. We know we're uncomfortable. We know we hurt. We need some relief. And we've got an idea of what it is. And it's not that those things are wrong. It's just that they're not the best that can be offered. They're not specifically what was supposed to make it better. But if we will just simply say, Daddy, I need what you have. He'll give us what we need that will give us joy. Not happiness, but joy. A reaction of this pain, this wound, this need is met because my daddy loves me and cares for me. Now, that may not have sounded anything at all like we're talking about Christmas. But we are. Because we reach for this and we reach for that. And before we were even born, before the foundation of the world, before Adam and Eve, God said, I'm going to wrap myself in flesh. And I'm going to be born so that they have access to everything that they need to have joy, and joy more abundantly. To have peace with me so that we can have relationship. To have hope in every situation, in every circumstance that can't be taken away. Because this reality is not the end all be all, and there's something beyond it that is more powerful, that is more real than this. Because this will fade away. But what is beyond this dimension, right now, what's going on in the heavenlies in this moment is more real than what's happening in this building materially, because that will last. And some of what's happening here will last. But these pews aren't going to last. Those candles might not even make it all the way to Christmas. But the joy you have because your daddy loves you and gave himself for you, that lasts beyond who is and who isn't going to show up, what is and isn't available, what we've got going on, what we can and can't afford, who's still here, who isn't, anything, everything, all of that. You don't have to settle for peas and carrots. You don't have to settle for what the world says or what your mind says or what your flesh says will fix your heart and your mind, because they won't. They might give you a little bit of relief. You may be smiling for a minute, but it always fades. It always falls short. But the gift from God, Emmanuel, God with us, that God would love us enough to come and be with us, that's not going to fail. That's not going to fade. And if you think for a minute that will not provide joy, that doesn't depend on your circumstances. One more quick illustration and then we'll go, because I don't see anybody really young. I pretty much would be willing to bet that everyone here has either experienced or seen, either experienced personally or experienced by observation, someone who hates school, dreads school, showing up at the high school every day as late as they can without getting in trouble, or getting in trouble because they don't want to be there. Leaving the very second they can when they get done because they hate it, they dread it, they don't want to do it. Then they meet somebody up there at that school. There's a little flirting, a little smiling, bumping a shoulder in the hallway. And suddenly, that student doesn't hate school. Now, nothing has changed. Every mean teacher is just as mean. The homework load has not decreased one bit. It still starts at that ungodly early hour. It still lasts way too long, except for it doesn't now because you're not in such a hurry to leave. The only thing has changed at all is one relationship in the midst of those circumstances. And yet, that teenager gets up looking forward to going to school because I'm going to meet with somebody. I'm going to be able to see somebody, joy. It's not about circumstances. It's about relationship. And when our joy is Jesus, that relationship is there in every high school, in every horrible job, in every crazy pre-Christmas Walmart, in every parking lot that doesn't have a spot, and every buggy that's left is the one with that one wheel that makes it go beep, 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 beep. Circumstances don't have to change for joy. Relationship does. Relationship. God designed us so that our human relationships would bring us joy when they are right, so that we would understand that it's relationship that meets the need, because his relationship with us always brings joy and doesn't fade, doesn't fail. He won't let us down. He won't reject us. He won't suddenly find somebody cuter or smarter or funnier or whatever and decide, I think I'll do this. No, we're his forever. Forever. And long after the sickness is gone, long after the cars are all rust and destroyed, long after everything, that joy remains. That joy remains. So if the chaos is getting to you, if the pressure's getting to you, if the human relationships or lack of are getting to you, if the list of everything I've got to do is getting to you and you're losing your joy, don't chase it. Don't chase joy. That's the biggest piece of advice I have for anybody young. Don't chase joy. I did it too long. You can get it temporary. But those peas and carrots aren't as good as you think when they're not prepared right. Don't chase joy. Chase Jesus. And you'll get the joy. And he came so you could have it. And that's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. Relationship with Jesus. And he didn't just come. He did it right. And he died. Truly dead. And then he rose. And he truly lives. And because he lives, that joy is ours. Because he lives, we have peace with God. Because he lives, we have a hope that has nothing to do with politics or economics or society or the environment or anything else. Because he came, because he died, because he lives, there is joy that can be had in this world at this moment and in the worst moment ever. So remember that. Remember who Christ is and what he's done to make you who you are, which is not whatever your brain or society tells you. It's what the Word tells you, which is child of God. Child of God, joint heir with Jesus, adopted into the family, loved, treasured, significant to him. You are God's treasure. He risked it all, gave it all for you.